quite amazing, man. Everything is really amazing. The world is so beautiful. It's just we've forgotten how to see it, but we're remembering fast. L'chaim, l'chaim. All right, let's hook up with Rumble here. Hmm. Maybe it takes a minute for the really. Okay. Go to live chat. Okay, I got the chat. Get the chat. Where did it go? Okay, where's my little stand? Come on, man. I almost got it. Here we go. Almost. I'm on third base. I'm coming around, man. I got this. Okay, here we go. Okay, so you guys are here. Wow, this is amazing. Beautiful people. Really beautiful people. I mean, okay, so we had a Zoom meeting today. I just want to start with this. We had a Zoom meeting, and every week we get more people, and it's this week we had me and five ladies. Actually, I think there was six. There were six, but Beatrice had to go go pick up her child at work. But I mean, the point of this Zoom meeting is for me not to talk. It's really for other people to get to talk because and you know as I'm sitting there listening to people from the channel, I'm just like totally blown away by the beauty and the sincerity and the depth and the artistry and the magnificence of people, and we just forgot. I don't think we even forgot. I don't think anyone forgot. I don't think it's going to be hard to to rediscover our godly souls. I think it's just it says in Tanya, it's right in front of you. It's just there for you to do it. I see we're going to have a light issue here. I mean, what's up with you guys? I no, it's because I got a new camera and I didn't really get a chance to set this one. I may go behind the camera and try to like redo the light. Wait a minute, maybe I can just do it with one touch of a button. No, I see that's not going to work out. I have to change the ISO. Maybe do you guys mind if I do? I'll do that for 1 second. It'll only take me a second. I'll get that adjusted. I appreciate your patience with me, by the way. I mean, I'm learning so many different skill sets here. I'm learning how to like. First of all, I'm an older dude. I mean, chronologically, anyway. I don't really consider myself an older person, but and I did when I was a public school teacher, and they were gunning for my job. Hey, Julie. It was really good. Yeah, Julie, I really appreciate. We had such a nice Zoom meeting. That's really the bottom line, I think. And I called one of the people up that was in the meeting. I just said, you don't even know how beautiful you are. You don't know how like sensitive and it's just I don't think I yeah, and that this is really the bottom line is that people do not know how incredible they are. We do not understand. We because the dudes have beaten us down and we got we went to school and they told us that they're prettier girls and they're more handsome guys and they're guys who play baseball better than you and all this stuff, and you just started thinking, well, man, I'm just like maybe I don't really measure up so much. Maybe I should just like crawl under a rock somewhere and kind of like try to, hide my face from the world. But I'm just telling you guys, man, you do not realize how magnificent, how miraculous, really, people are. People just they don't they because we're so full, because of you, okay, because of you. But we're gonna make friends now. You and I are gonna be friends. So this is the whole thing: to take the demon of doubt, put your arm around him, say, buddy, man, I know you got, you've been with me all these years. You kept me like doubting myself. I felt shame every time I opened my mouth. I did all kinds of weird stuff, and you were there to remind me how really weird it was. So at the end of the day, I believe the real trick is to take this little reptile, put your arm around him, and say, man, what was it? What did Humphrey Bogart say to Lauren Bacall? Like, this is the beginning of a beautiful relationship, something like that. I mean, it's transforming the reptilian inside of us. That's what's going to bring us to the next place. It's getting out of criticism. It's getting out of a self-criticism. Not to mention because it leads to other criticism. But then again, like, to feel shame about it, if you do find yourself criticizing yourself and others, it's like, don't shame yourself. Just say, hey man, I'm on the road. I know the right thing to do. I'm not really there yet. That's I think the self-flagellation business is highly overrated, and I think all the religions have been completely perverted by the dudes. I'm still on. I'm broadcasting on YouTube. One of the sole survivors, man, is this family. We have been on YouTube all these years, man, and we have been taken down and came back up and taken down and came back up. But because we're built, we're not putting our foundation on sand. I mean, we're building a foundation, a real foundation on love and trust and the right ideals. And by the way, it's not me that's really talking. It's just like, I mean, I'm not smart enough on my own. Yeah, he knows. We agree on this. There are but it's just, I kind of like allow it to come through me. I mean, but I'm not conscious of it, and that, even that sounds a little pompous and a little like, oh, I'm channeling, ooh, it's not like that. It's just, anyway. So Gila said, what are we going to talk? What are you going to talk about tonight? And then she sent me these incredible tapes of Steve Bannon interviewing a gentleman who just made a movie. I don't know if he was the actor in it. I got the feeling that maybe he was the actor, or maybe not. But he did the the something of Christ, like something about yeah. I'm just not I'm not Christian enough to remember these things, but the the doubter of Christ, or something like that. And he did another movie. He made another movie. But anyway, the the I don't know. But he just made a movie, and it's coming out, and probably a lot of you know about it. But Gila knew about it, and I had seen it too. But he's making a movie about what's going on with the little ones. And he's saying, like, over and over again, the topic of what's going on with the little ones would come up on the mainstream news platforms, and they just kind of like push it aside over and over again. It's like, kids are missing. We're not talking about one or two kids. And like I said before, even if we're talking about one kid went missing last year, would you be okay with that? I mean, I would go nuts. I'd be like, well, let's find him. Where is he? I mean, where could he be? What happened to him? Did I ever growing up think to myself, there's an underground world, and they're taking kids from the surface and they're bringing them underground and doing horrific things to them? I remember there was a boy that went missing. I think his name was Ethan or Aton, from the Bronx, and it was like a huge story. The kid was missing. But 85,000 kids missing from the border? This came up to Congress and, like, nobody, that's what this guy's saying. Nobody really, like, "Oh, 85,000 kids missing. That's nice. Yeah, what about the selection process in Arizona?" I mean, these things are not even. I mean, I'm not saying the selection what they did with the selection thing is totally off the wall, but that's all part of this. We have no idea. And this guy was saying that the people, after seeing, I think he's saying after seeing this film, I think so. He's saying after they see this film, if they don't do anything, that they're as bad as the Germans during the Second World War, that were kind of like, well, something's going on, but I don't really know about it. It's not really my business. I'm just following orders. That they're going to have to ask themselves, what happened? Where was I? What did I do about it? And this is going to be a pretty hard question to answer if they don't do something. So this is going to be the linchpin in the whole structure. This is going to be the thing that's going to unite humanity. Hopefully. I mean, I have no doubts that people are going to unite. Okay, I'm just going to go off on a little tangent. Like, Gila, I love you. I don't know if you're listening, but we feel like she and I have been having, she more than me. I mean, admittedly, she 100% more. But I mean, she and I have been waging a campaign against this guy Whiplash because he says monstrous things about the Jewish people. And and there are a lot of patriots that are Holocaust deniers, and they also say, okay, once the real Jews return, I'm like, you mean really? We went through the Holocaust, we went through the Inquisition, we went through the pogroms. We've been, my parents couldn't, eat in certain restaurants, and they weren't allowed to go to sea club. I know it sounds like a little thing. They couldn't join clubs, no biggie, right? It's like, we went through all this stuff because we were really just faking it, and it's like, okay, they were faking it, and okay, so yeah, they had to pay a kind of a price for it. I mean, this is inexcusable kind of language from this guy Whiplash and Jason Q and all these, and I just found out from Irma, our dear not Irma. I just found out from Eileen, our dear friend Eileen, that SG Anon mentioned me on his show. And I just think, I love SG Anon. Why do I love SG Anon? Because he says, we're coming into the great age. He says this is good stuff that's going on. There are not that many other people out there that are saying this is about the great awakening. They get all hung up on the details. This happened and this one, and it's like, that's you're missing the forest for the trees. But SGNon gets it. He gets the wonder. He understands that we're coming into this new age. And he mentioned me. I'm just so flattered because I really admire and love listening to SGNon. He's probably the only one that I listen to at this point, other than, of course, my big mouth self. And I don't listen to myself. I don't, I do when I have to, like when I was making videos with the guys in Nepal, they wanted me to check it to make sure it was okay. They did amazing job with the videos. But people don't realize, and when I'm sitting on the Zoom, and I hope more people come to our Zoom meeting, and that not only do more people come to our Zoom meeting, but the people start their own Zoom meetings, and that we start talking to each other again, and even if we can't get together, even if we're thousands of miles apart, even if we're in different time zones, we are one. We are united. And from our unity, from us coming together, it's going to spread to all facets on the planet. We're like a big, fat, disgustingly beautiful seed. The kabbalahguru family is a big seed that we're planting. We're planting here so that all people will grow, so that all souls will come together. That's why it was so painful for us to see Whiplash denouncing the Jews. I mean, listen, I admit that the people in control, that the satanic people, but these guys were putting out movies saying that 130,000 Jews were dancing, were worshiping Moilech in 1933. This is just utter nonsense. This is fake, 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 disgusting news that pervert. First of all, to get 130,000 people to Jews in 1933 together is an impossibility. We're a tiny fraction of people. There are not so many of us. But to think, I mean, it's just it's and that's what Whiplash, that's what Tyranny, that's what Marilyn Chambers, which is all the same person. And they were doing that at the same time. They were apparently scamming people on lobster out of their money. And this is the part that I really don't like to even say, and I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. But they're from a country that's not so friendly necessarily to Jews. Now, I personally, I just met, I met a very beautiful woman on the beach a few days ago, and she happened to be Iranian, and we had a very nice conversation. We didn't say to each other. She didn't say, "Oh, you're Jewish, man." I mean, she might have thought other things about me that she didn't really want to talk to me, but we had a very nice conversation. I don't think there's any like inherent natural hatred between Persians and Jewish people. I think it's the governments. I think it's the Illuminati. I think it's the deep state. I think it's the reptilians. I think it's these underground haters that eat, I almost said it, that eat very not kosher things. The little things in life. I'm not going to say it on YouTube, but you guys know what I'm talking about. They eat, they drink, they remove organs, they encourage people not to give birth to innocent, loving. Anyway, we're coming into an era where we are going to appreciate ourselves, and we're going to appreciate others, and we're going to be just fine with the fact that, you know what, you say potato, I say potato, and so there is no essential problem between humanity. All the problems have been caused, I believe, by the Illuminati, by the deep state, by the Matrix, by these clowns, by the three-letter agencies, the C3 and the Fibbies and the M16s or M5 and the the guys in Israel. You know, they're are they all bad people? No, I don't think so. But they've certainly been doing some bad stuff, man. They certainly don't follow the law. They certainly have an agenda. They certainly are a continuance of the same folks that brought us World War II, man. They just became three-letter agencies, and they're doing the same stuff to people. So what this man was saying, that if people don't get really upset about what's happening with the little ones, then they're going to have to look, they're going to have to go through the rest of their lives asking themselves, what happened? Like, I remember I was very young. I was very young in the when the protests were going down. I was in high school, and I was at the tail end of the baby boomers, and I was in high school. I was 14, 15. I had the long hair, I dressed funky. I took drugs. I took hallucinogens I started taking LSD when I was 14 years old. And I don't regret it. Not at all. I think I learned a lot from it. I'm not saying anyone here should do it, but I think and I kept doing it through the years, and I think it's made me who I am in a lot of ways. And I know young people who are also indulging in these things, and I don't criticize them because I did the same thing. But these substances give you a sense of spirituality. I mean, it's really an eye opening thing. I don't know. I can't even remember why I'm mentioning this now. Why would I mention such a thing? It's eye opening because if you don't you don't quote see God. I mean, nobody really sees God because there's God is not something you can see with your eyes, but you get a sense of that there are other realities outside of our own, like things that we can see, hear, taste, touch, smell. That there are other realities outside of our sensory range that are quite wondrous and good to know about. Oh, I know what I was saying. Okay, so I know what I was saying. So I was very young for my to be like going to protests and leaving school and all this other stuff, and going to concerts at night and taking hallucinogens. And I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. I wasn't like a cool kind of guy. I was a timid person, but for some reason my soul was drawn to this kind of self examination, which is really what for me hallucinogens. It's not a party drug for me. It's a time. It's therapy. But what I'm saying is that what I wanted to say is that I was at all the protests. You know, I wasn't as militant as some. I had friends who were really militant. They were in the SDS. I was not one of those. I was a love person. I mean, I was, always incredibly shy around women. I just, I to this day, I'm just, I'm like a little kid when I see a girl. I'm very respectful. I really love women, but I'm a little bit, I'm just shy. But anyway, I did all this stuff, and there were a lot of people in my school and all over the world. I'm kind of including my father. My father did not come down hard on me for having, you know, counterculture books or growing my hair long or sleeping with a woman, sleeping with another, sleeping with a neighbor in my room since a young age. But he didn't judge me for that. But he, like all the straight people in my school that were not involved because they were too busy trying to get into a good college, they were not involved in the protest movement. For the rest of their lives, they suffered this inferiority complex, and they all became like, kind of like, they smoke pot, and they, like, even though they have corporate jobs, they're not mainstream because they're trying to make up because they blew it, because they weren't there when the time when it was really happening. There really was a shame. There really was an unjust war, a war that was being fought for no reason other than to probably run drugs and who knows what else the big state was really after. I mean, we're finding out that they went into Iraq just to get a portal. It wasn't about weapons of mass destruction. It wasn't about gold. It wasn't about oil. There was some kind of portal there, and they wanted it, a portal into other realms, into other planets, who knows what. So this guy was saying that the people who do nothing, once they find out that 2 million kids go missing every year, and they're not going to like some orphanage somewhere and they're like, they're like the food isn't up to snuff. They're going down underground into the lairs of the most evil beings that ever existed anywhere in this galaxy, anywhere in this universe. The Nebu, the Greys, the AI slaves. They work for AI. They work for Google. They work for Microsoft. That's Gog and Magog. I'm still shocked that I had this realization. It wasn't me. It just came to me that Google, Gog and Magog was Google and Microsoft. I'm surprised. I don't hear it from every rabbi in every synagogue all over the world. Nobody picks up on it because maybe I don't know. I'm not a mainstream enough Jewish dude. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe they are. Maybe every synagogue they're going, you hear what Ellie Weber said? He said Gog and Magog is Google and Microsoft or Metaverse. I mean, that makes sense. It wasn't really Iran. It wasn't really Germany. It wasn't really Russia. Listen, 200 years ago, when the sages, or 400 years ago, or 500 years ago, when they were still Ruach HaKodesh, when sages could still prophesize, they didn't have Google. Well, they might have actually. They might have had a Google then. We don't know. We don't really know our history. They might have had. I mean, I saw a movie today about Titaria. They had all kinds of flying machines and electronic devices. We don't know what our history is. We've been sold a bill of goods. We've been told to sack of lies over and over and over again. So when this thing comes up, I'm just saying, when this thing comes up, this should unify all mankind. And people like Whiplash, who want to blame it on the Jews, man, they're gonna have to crawl under a rock somewhere, man, because good and evil are separate now. You cannot pretend to be good and have like you cannot pretend to be good and have some kind of evil. The UN, all these organizations, you can't have your feet in both ponds, man. You're either good or evil. The good and evil got mixed together when the reptilians invaded the Garden of Eden and they put their DNA, they raped Eve and she gave birth to Cain and Abel. And Cain did not look like Adam, and Abel did. I've gone through this 1,000 times. I'm not going to bore you with the details of that, but all of history, all of our like so-called history, and we don't really know what it is about eventually putting our arm around the demon of doubt. You and I, man, you and me. Maybe we'll go for a walk on the beach. I kind of leave him out. Now, I really haven't been including the demon of doubt so much in my life lately because I'm not in 3D so much. I'm not working for the man in the Department of Education where they're like constantly reminding me of what an incompetent teacher I am and how I couldn't find that I couldn't start a fire with a match. I mean, these people they couldn't wait to tell me how inefficient, how ineffective. That's the word they used. Ineffective. Ineffective. Mr. Weber, you are ineffective. You are an ineffective teacher. You cannot teach. I'm like, really? You see any kids here like they kind of like me, right? They kind of like we kind of have a rapport. And I was talking I wasn't just talking about the thugs that I taught for years in that we loved each other. I love my guys. Yeah, they came out of jail. Yeah, so what? They were cool and they would tell you to your face if they had a problem, they would tell you straight up. They wouldn't like sneak around you like the administrators. But anyway, so people that don't this is going to unify us. Listen, let's just look at this in a positive way. I don't want to say the people that don't rise up and don't unify and still want to blame some other religion for all their problems. It's not going to fly anymore, man. You can't have your feet in both ponds, like I said. What a weird metaphor, right? So let's just put it like this. When people become fully aware, and they are not fully aware, I think they're getting the idea. When they become fully aware of what's being done to the little ones, There's going to be a cry on this planet. We hope, like we've never heard before. Where did I read? Where's that in the Bible that they heard sobbing? I can't remember. I can't remember which. I mean, if that will no, I'm not going to say if that will unify mankind, and we will finally understand that it's not just that they're swindling us out of all our money, or that they gave us medical treatment that's designed to hurt you, or that they denied us a decent education because they wanted to indoctrinate us, or that they poisoned our food supply, our air supply, our water supply. None of that, man. That's just like that's icing on the cake. The real deal is when people find out that 2 million kids go missing every year, and this has probably been happening for thousands of years. Read my lips, thousands of years. That this man is saying that if you don't rise up, if you don't do something, you're going to be feeling like the straight kids in my school that didn't come out to the protests. They had an inferiority complex for the rest of their lives because they didn't really get in on it when it was happening. They felt inferior, and I moved on, man. I was like, okay, man, I did that. I'm going on to other things. I got into music. I was in Nashville for a while. I was trying to be a songwriter, and then I tried to go straight. And you know the story. All you guys have the same story as me. You tried to do what you really love to do. It didn't work out, so you tried to be normal. You tried to fit in. You tried hard. I'm sure you all of you, or everyone here that's listening, tried really hard. I mean, I've been married 3.5 times. You think each time I got married, I didn't think to myself, okay, this is it. I'm staying. It's forever. I'll do whatever it takes. I mean, of course, I thought that. Interestingly enough, I mean, and this is worth noting as a side point. That's very important. During my first marriage, my wife and I were very committed to each other. We were really good friends. We were really good friends. We were really close. I suffered because I mean I was the weaker link because I couldn't for me thank God I'm not I always joke about how handsome I am, but thank God I'm not super handsome because I always wanted to cheat but I never could pull it off. Let's be honest. Yeah, okay, you one for you. Okay. um, but we had severely handicapped. They were premature kids, twins, and they were severely handicapped. And one of them actually passed over at the age of 5. But I would have stayed in the marriage. I would be married today to her. She was a very nice person. We had a very nice working relationship. But a doctor, a well known doctor, a respected doctor in my town, said to me, he said, people that have children as handicapped as you, there's 100% divorce rate. They don't stay married. I mean, I never even thought the thought of getting a divorce was just not even. I didn't even think about it. It's like what divorce? What's that? I mean, I love my wife. We worked. She was amazing. But this doctor put it in my head that you can't stay married 100%. I mean, that thought somehow magnified in my brain and clicked in with my reptilian half that was, really wanting to get out there and be with different ladies, which takes a lot of effort on my part, man. It's not easy. It's not easy for me to get over. So I walk sometimes on the streets with handsome guys. I see all these girls. I'm like, I didn't know girls looked at guys. I'm like, they never look at me like that. But anyway, so because I had a Yetzer Hara, because I have a very strong reptilian side, but I've learned to some degree to control it. at least in action. I mean, I've never been a real cheater. I've never been able to pull it off. And it's not because I didn't want to, but I just, thank God I never could pull it off. But the point is that when people find out when they see this movie, when they understand that it's not just about Republicans and Democrats, it's not about the country you and Russia, it's not about chemtrails, it's not even about this. Okay. Yeah, they did that to there's sickos. These people are these. I don't think they're people. I think they're half breds. They're hybrids. L'chaim, l'chaim, to your health. Thanks for putting up with me. This it says this cup says be like Nokshin. You can get this on my YouTube channel if you want to order one. My son designed this. He's a smart guy. He's smart enough not to listen to some of my advice. But anyway, he has a little bit he has 50% of my wife and him, my ex. So chaim l'chaim to life. That's really, but that's the bottom line, and I'm going to circle back to that. That humanity is going to rise up. Humanity is going to unite. We're all going to realize that we're brothers and sisters, and we all love each other. And when we're close to each other, our hearts radiate in joy. So at the end of the day, I just want to say l'chaim, which means to life, and I'm hoping that you will hear me when I say that you are amazing. You are amazing, and I singled out. There was one person that I thought was especially amazing today, but in the Zoom meeting. But there were many people that were amazing, and these are soft, underspoken people who never probably really get a chance to share much with anybody. Like I get free therapy. You guys are like, I should probably send you guys checks for for listening to me for all these years and months and nights and mornings and days. I mean, I get to work my issues out, but you just have to know. You have to like start to really, really, really appreciate how fine you are, how beautiful you are, how loving you are, how empathic you are, how tremendously beautiful you are, and how all your life you've been lied to. They lied to you about who you are intentionally to keep you down on the farm. Anyway, that's my rant. I'll get to the end. And I want to thank anybody who's coming here because they heard about this channel from SG and on. I salute you, man. I love SG and on. I mean, he's just because he understands that we're in the most terrific period in history, and it's we're not going to be like the dudes in my high school and miss it. You're all going to be like, yes, let's, the tribunals are going to be coming out, and we're going to be like, yeah, man, hang the guy. It's like this guy has there's no point for him to be in this environment, in this beautiful loving world. If these people are doing things to the little ones, sayonara, baby. Find another planet somewhere, man. Go work for the AI. But we this is going to be the most incredible jewel of a planet, like it was supposed to be. It's going to be so incredible. And the weather might even be nice enough so I can like walk again with my shirt off on the beach. I found some wickedly cool sea glass today, and I thought I was like a cool, really great person. I mean, I found some really nice pieces. I love the blue pieces, but I think it was Lorna at the Zoom meeting. She showed me a piece of purple glass that her daughter found. They call it ocean glass. I think they call it ocean glass. We call it sea glass or something like that or whatever. But she showed me this piece of purple glass that, boy, was that pretty. I've never seen a piece of glass like that. I'm going to keep my eyes open, man, because probably when it's laying on the sand, it'll look black, and then you hold it up to the light. I mean, this piece of glass was really purple. It was gorgeous. So Before you go to sleep tonight, do me a favor and look yourself in the eye. Go to the mirror, look yourself in the eye, and say, "I love you, man. You know, you got your stuff, but you're awesome." I mean, that's really what we need to do at the end of the day. And take a deep breath. Just take a nice deep breath and just say, "Wow, man, I got this. I got everything I need. I just made my second order for organic veggies, man, a whole basket of veggies from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, where my mommy lives and my mother lives." I forgot to call my mom today. I'll call her after this. She stays up late. But yeah, just pat yourself on the back and just, tell yourself, man, this is an amazing adventure we've been through already, and it's just going to get more beautiful by the day as we see humanity come together. Like what I'm seeing as somebody who was there in the '60s, and I know a lot of you guys were there. We tend to be an older, our the crew here is like tends to be older, but we're coming into this part B of the '60s. It's going to be like Love City. I'm not saying like wild sexual stuff. I didn't really get to do that much, but I had relationships. I'm not a person who can. I'm not smart enough to think about two girls at once. I mean, two women at once. I'm and I really like the feeling of really being in love and just being totally fascinated by your partner and just being so appreciative that, I mean, God has granted me pretty much like 25 years of like non-romantic time. It's been the best 25 years of my life in that, I had to deal with issues that I never thought I could probably overcome. I never thought I could, be without romance for so long. But I said to God, I said during my second marriage, I said, man, just get me out of this and I'm putting myself aside. I'll just, because I don't want to not only do I not want to give a house away to a woman I hate every couple of years, but I don't want to mess with people, man. I'm out. So I got married in a religious way, and we had Baruch Hashem, we have a beautiful, stable son. Thank God. I mean, how that happened, it's probably mostly it's the it probably most. I mean, the stability comes from his mother, but he also he's an empath. He's definitely an empath, and he tends to be very spiritual. He may not be as religious as some people, but he's very spiritual. Thank God, and he's in that way he's a chip off the old block. Anyway, so collectively we have to do it. Yeah, really, but really at the end of the day, we just have to wake ourselves up and really radiate with joy, and the others will come. They'll see it. They'll feel it. Once they understand what's going on, and it's going to be in their face very soon. It's already in their face. I don't think we need to worry. I don't feel like this guy. I don't feel like this guy who made the movie. I don't feel like if they don't rise up in some way that they're like the Germans in Second World War that were just following orders. I think they're going to rise up. I think they're going to recognize that this just cannot go on. We cannot allow even one child to go missing. There was a child in the Bronx in this, I think it was in the '70s, that went missing. The whole world went crazy. So now when we find out 2 million kids go missing every year, I'm sure humanity is, I mean, that's part of the 17 plan is that we're all going to come together around this because it's horrific and it can't go on. Ivermectin, yeah, I think ivermectin is a very important thing. We were talking about the ladies were talking about worms, and they were saying that a lot of this involved worms, and that's why it attacked the heart, and that the Ivor thing kills worms. And the ladies, they said, Ellie, can you remove yourself? The girls want to, the ladies want to talk, and I was like, yeah, no problem, but we need this, man. So please feel free to join us on every Thursday at 5 o'clock. We have a Zoom meeting, and I do not talk. I'm there to listen, but I am just saying, as a listener, what I heard was just beautiful, beautiful souls, beautiful people that are very understated, that really do not appreciate, do not appreciate themselves the way they should. Because you may be gentle, you may be shy, you may be introvert, and you never really fit in, but you're awesome, man. You're absolutely awesome, every one of you. And I just want to tell one more story because it's so touching. I have to share it. This is really therapy. This is where I have to send you a check. But I walk on the boardwalk, and I saw this guy in a wheelchair. I figured, probably a funky dude. It's probably, maybe it's mentally not all there. And so I went up to him at one point a couple of days ago, and he's totally lucid, man. He's just a beautiful, beautiful man. He was in a car accident, and he's in a wheelchair now. And so now, today I saw him again, and he was trying to get a rock from under a bench with a stick. He has like a, one of those sticker things where I used to use to pick up paper on the street. And so I said, "Can let me get it for you?" So I got the little stone, and he started talking about, you just never know what you're going to find. And he told me he found a wooden wheel that was like from the 1900s on the boardwalk, and that, we just had a really beautiful conversation. And he's just like a totally normal guy. And I said, just don't give up. Just don't give up. He says, don't worry, man. He says, that's why I'm out here in a wheelchair every day. I'm keeping in shape, man. He says, my spine is messed up, but I'm not giving up. I'm working. And I said, the next time I see you, I'll try to bring you some sea glass. I'll try to bring you some cool stuff to learn. And I showed him my YouTube channel. He says he's going to check in. Maybe Michael, maybe you're even listening to us now. But man, I just want to tell you, Michael, I have such respect for you, man. You know, I wish I had the strength that you do. It's just, you're a remarkable person if you're listening, and all of you are remarkable. We've all been through the ringer. Excuse me. I know the trolls really get excited when I blow my nose. But yeah, the trolls out. Oh yeah, I see he's out. Okay, good, man. It's good to see you. Maybe maybe it'll help you. Maybe this will be good for you. Oh, it's not. It's uh-huh. Okay, so he's yeah, he's back to his old self. Okay, so fine. Just ignore him. I mean, anyway. So there's a lot of good to humanity, man, and don't forget it. Just and love yourself just the way you are. Yeah, this guy's name is Michael. Hey, spiritual being. Yeah, I'm gonna. Don't send me any free coffee, please. Brian has a heart of gold, man. He would give the shirt off your. I mean, he used to send me free coffee back in the day. But you know, I'm gonna order. I want. I like to pay for things. Anyway, it's a beautiful world, and barrel of monkeys. Yeah, trolls need another vax, right? Yeah. All right. So anyway, let's get to some intel. Thanks for putting up with me. And I'm just kind of celebrating. I'm really touched by the fact that SG Anon either mentioned me or whatever said something about me. I'm very touched because I love his work and it means a lot to me. It really means a lot to me. Okay, so let's do some intel. I'm sorry I went on such a long monologue. Is this the right? No, that's Google. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Okay, I can get out. I can do this. Let's yeah, I can do this. How do I get out of here? Oh no, this is not good. Okay, that's how I got out of it. I'm going up with this. Now I'm going to go to here. I know you guys just saw all my private stuff. I don't care. Now we go this way. Okay. Now we got okay, so now we have all right, so we're going to start with a different guy if I can find him. Let me just see. All chats, all chats. Let's see. I'm going to stay away from the Whiplash and his ilk because he's not totally pure. He needs to work on himself. Let's hope he reconsiders this thing about Jewish people being, worshiping Moilech. I mean, come on. Here it is. Okay, so here's a new channel that I found. Okay, Restored Republic. Since February 2020, a U.S. interim military government has been executing arrests of those prominent elites. This is a really cool post, guys. This really like I love this post. Okay, let me read it again. This is from Restored Republic. Since February 2020, a U.S. interim military government has been arresting people. Okay, for nearly 2 years, I've watched at least five large unmarked cruise ships parked 2 miles off the coast of Long Beach, California, in the Pacific Ocean. All the while seeing literally 60 to 70 helicopter flights per day, fanning out in three different directions. Unmarked helicopters, obviously some military and some civilian. This has happened every day, including Sunday, nonstop for nearly 2 years. Since the 20th of January, 2021, and we thought nothing was happening, right? When's it going to happen already? It's been happening, man. The U.S. military special forces have been holding nightly tribunals on Capitol Hill using that evidence that was handed over to John D. and concluded in a report. Soon the full D report will be released, followed by another round of about 3,000 arrests of those found guilty of crimes, including treason, during the years of investigation since Mr. T took office. So we were told this is a big sting operation, and they were taking him down, man. They were just watching. Um, Do they need 10 days of darkness to arrest the last of them? I don't know. It doesn't sound like it. Sounds like they got it all pretty much taken care of. But that's an amazing story. Okay, so here's another one. Deep State unmasked. Unprecedented military coup exposed. Prepare to I love this guy's writing, by the way. It says David Wilcox. I don't know who's really behind this. Maybe it is David Wilcox, but his writing is uh, very stylized. You remember, I'm a graduate of I got an MFA in creative writing at Columbia, so I I used to fancy myself a writer till I realized I'm not a writer. I'm a rewriter, and I realized I rewrote myself out of my own books. I was just like, I can't do this anymore, man. I got to live the real world. It's hard enough for me to exist in 3D, but if I'm just observing 3D and writing about it all the time, it was not healthy for me. Anyway, prepare to have your world turned upside down as the shocking truth is unveiled before your eyes. I mean, at least he can put together a sentence. Most of the intel from Whiplash is illiterate, kind of like Persian oriented, non grammatical. And no offense to Persians, just to our anti-Semitic friend who wants to lead people to believe that Jews worship Molech. Sickening. Anyway, the sinister machinations of the elite powers has been exposed in a mind-boggling military coup that defies belief. Discover how ex-presidents Clinton and BO, in cohorts with the C3, masterminded an audacious plan to overthrow a sitting president, manipulating military intelligence to archive their sinister objectives. And remember, an administration that had no corruption. The BO administration, they had no problems, no issues, right? Nothing. Totally pure, pure like driven snow. This astonishing revelation will send shockwaves through the corridors of power. Hold on to your seats as we delve into the darkest secrets of the DS. Little Adam, pencil neck, whatever it is, backed by the corrupt Phoebe, the Department of J, the DOD, played a pivotal role in his nefarious scheme, fostering division and chaos that tore at the very fabric of our nation. Uncover the chilling connections. This is definitely writing school stuff, right? Uncover it's called alliteration when you use the same beginnings to words, right? Uncover the chilling connections to the sprawling child thing ring, intertwined with the notorious Gilligan's Island scandal, where money, where they cleaned the money, there was trafficking, and blackmail ran rampant. We read this already, but it's worth reading it again. But I'm reading it every time we read these things, we read it with a new understanding because the news kind of verifies, and that was the whole point of 17 of the 17 movement, was that the news would verify and make it understandable what the intel was trying to say. Kudos to SG for like learning how to really decipher. I never really learned it. I was lazy. I let other people decipher it for me. But maybe I'm a little lazy. He says, a little? You're fun, man. I love it. I love the demon of doubt. But the deception runs deeper still. Gain a glimpse into the sinister agenda behind this coup. Deadly these things: societal collapse, digital surveillance, and widespread censorship. Oh, don't we know it? These revelations will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. Prepare to have your reality shattered once more as we expose the hidden agenda, of the global elites. Unravel the shocking plan orchestrated by the rocker people, involving a staged alien invasion to manipulate and control the masses. The audacious scheme, foretold by NASA's old Werner von Braun, will shake the very foundation of your understanding. I love it, David, man. I love it, man. I love this kind of writing. It's really beautiful. Be warned, the first alien invasion will be nothing but smoke and mirrors. Look behind the illusion and discover the true depths of their deception. Brace yourself for the imminent disclosure, a revelation that will rewrite history and challenge everything we hold dear. Stay vigilant, fellow patriots, as the world hurtles towards an unprecedented awakening. The battle between light and darkness rages on. But remember, truth and justice will prevail. Get ready to witness the greatest unraveling of our time. It's going to be amazing. I mean, that's what SG, man. Kudos to SG, man. He says it every time. He says, "This is the greatest time to be alive." It's like the 60s on steroids. It's like I got to be the one bad boy and everybody else got to catch up with me all their life. But now we're all going to get to be, or all together, going to discover it together and be on the same page and just be happy that this evil is finally being removed from the world. And it'll be a world where Christians and Jews can hang out together, man, and Muslims, and this whole lie about the conflict in Israel. I mean, it's nonsense. It's paid off. They're paid off by these guys, by these slave masters, by the 13 bloodline families that are the head of the snake, literally worship the snake, worship, literally come from Cain, and literally were part of a plan, an organized plan to rape an innocent human being. I don't know if Gil is on. Gil, you on? Anyway, because I was going to make a slight comment about it, but it's okay. I'll tell you later. But my point is that God did not make a mistake. It was not the original sin. It was not a bad thing that happened. Just like bad things happen, but there's more good in bad in something that bad that happens to you. There's a more powerful blessing. This is what it says in Hasidus, in mystic Judaism, that there's more, that when something rough happens to you, that's because God loves you so much more, so much that he can't express the thing in just giving you gifts, because you wouldn't understand. That's why you go through hard times. It's not that God hates you, it's because he loves you so much. He trusts you. He says, man, Weber's down for this, man. He can handle it. Put him in a car accident. Poor SG Anon has to deal with health issues. I mean, it's not because he hates SG, because he loves SG. And he knows SG can handle it. And he knows SG can use that angst, that difficulty, that problematic part of his life to express something that a normal person who's not going through such an event couldn't express. He's handpicked to communicate to the world what's really going on right now. Just like you guys are handpicked to be here right now. It's not an accident. It's not an accident that you were like the black sheep all your life, me included. I mean, I was a lovable black sheep, but I was a black sheep nevertheless. I never could really get past being an ineffective person. I just couldn't. I wasn't interested, first of all. I didn't want to be an elite. I didn't like it. I didn't like what the elites, I didn't like their manners. I didn't like how they treated people. I didn't like how they saw the world. It wasn't for me. My peeps were down in Washington today, my fellow school teachers. I didn't join them because I felt like I had to be here, but they went down to protest outside of the Supreme Court for for us getting fired, man, for no reason, for just because I didn't want to take their hoochie coochie weirdo, ouchie Fauci thing. You don't have to fire me. I could have worked remote. I mean, they just, but they really wanted to take out people who were, it's like that old saying. They say first they took out the criminals, then they took out this group, and finally they came for me. Where's Francine? Our troll is concerned about one of our family members. You're such a beautiful troll, man. Even our trolls are nice. Isn't that amazing? We get cool trolls. They turn you over to the FBI? Really? You think I don't know that? Listen, my brother works for DARPA. I mean, if they, I'm surprised that, it's, listen, whatever they're doing, man, they don't show themselves. They keep themselves pretty far out of my life. I mean, I do see a lot of helicopters over my, every time I leave the building, there are helicopters flying around, but, it costs a lot of gas to operate one of those vehicles. So, let them have a good time. He's collecting sea glass again. Well, let's report it to the boss. He looks like he got one of those blue pieces again. Yeah. Uh-huh. He didn't look. He didn't find any glass on that whole stretch of beach. Well, let's go. Let's get back to the three C's and report it to Bigster to Biggie. I mean, really, man. Barrel of I love it, man. Barrel of Destiny, you're such a lovable troll. I don't really know if you're AI. Francine told me never argue with a troll. So I'm going to listen to what Francine said. I'm just going to ignore this guy, but he is cute, right? Don't you love it that we have such nice trolls? Steven, I love this, man. Okay, we're good to go, right? I gotta love your spirit. Yeah, you guys are on it. Was anybody? Yes, we had 6 people on our Zoom call today, and it was marvelous. You would have loved it, Michelle. And there were 6 girls and 1 guy. I got to be the one guy, and I was like, "Wow, man! Finally, finally, I hit the big time." Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just relax, man. Come on. I thought we were going to be friends now. Yeah, let's be friends. Um, and then they kicked me off. They said, "You know what? The women have to talk now about some private stuff," and I was fine with it. But it was a very beautiful thing, and I was just listening the whole time, and it was very enjoyable for me. And that's when I came up with this idea that people are so beautiful, but they're a little understated. They don't realize they don't really understand how beautiful they are. Yeah, Hadassah Ariel. Yeah, let me pin that because I don't want to say it myself, but that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But he's cute. He's a cute barrel of dirt, right? Anyway, okay. So let me go to another channel. Let's see what the White Hats, if they have anything to say for themselves. Right, we read this last. Oh no, this is unread. Oh, this is the same thing we just read. But I'll read it. Let's see. Military coup of 2020. How ex presidents. Yeah, we just read this on the other channel. So this is being circulated. Little Adam, the chairman of the U.S. It's not real. I'm sure it's not Adam. That it doesn't look like the same guy. He looks way too nice. Gain of FUNCTION. The the jabs, the collapse, the digital IDs, the mass censorship. We got to experience a lot of this, man. I mean, we were, pat yourselves on the back. Even the troll, man. You're so much fun, man. You got to take part in this. You'll be able to tell your grandchildren that I was a troll on Kabbalah Guru channel, man. I used to make fun of them, and now I feel like such an idiot, but I think I was always an idiot. So, it's just like I'm consistent at least. Anyway, so let's see. I loved when I was a teacher, I loved to like sort of get back at certain people that would make my life difficult. There weren't many, but there were a few. Everything leads to dismantling the C3 organization, bring down the Fibbies and the DA's military intelligence that protects the elites and their rings, their little one rings, and corrupt banking systems. And medical practice, don't forget the medical practices and the the algae from Fauci and the educational systems and the pharmaceutical things and Trump's just warming inside. We're inside the storm. Trump's just warming up. Gilligan and remember, McAfee knew it all. Lots happening and coming. So wow, we okay. So there's nothing new here. Let me just see if there's anything, any kind of like little. Oh, whiplash, man. The thing is, we're finding, as you know, I've said this a million times. I'm sorry to repeat myself, but the whole prophecy is that good and evil got mixed together in the Garden of Eden, and as we come into this new age, good and evil are separated. So Whiplash is trying to be like this good guy on this investment thing, but he has a little problem with Jewish people. But now we're seeing, well, he was scamming on. It's like you can't be you're either good or evil. Good and evil can't be mixed together anymore, so they're coming apart. Okay. Yeah, JB is trying to freeze all United States citizens from withdrawing money. This excuse is given that the money supply is short. They're saying here, scroll up, and the final warning to remove money from the banks. I don't really go along with this, but I don't know. I play fast and furious with my money. I don't keep a lot of money in the bank. I don't have a lot of money to keep. So I just, when money goes in there, it goes out pretty fast. And if it sits around too long, then when here's Gila. Where's our Gila? Gila's taking a break, man. Gila needs a rest. She's yeah, you manifested Gila? Yeah, it's just yeah, Gila's awesome, man. I mean, Gila, you guys don't know. Is Gila on right now? Is Gila here? Let's see if I have. I'm sorry, I haven't been looking at the chats on. There's not a. Oh yeah, there's a lot of chat on Rumble. Classic out in. Thank you, moderators. Are you guys? You guys? Yeah, on that channel, you guys can do it. Okay, so anyway, I want to say something. When Gila's on, let me know because I want to tell you what Gila has been doing. I mean, behind the scenes. That is, if she'll let me. I need her permission, but she's like she was like David and Goliath, man. She just she's relentlessly valiant, courageous, unflappable, beautiful, and just amazing. Like all of you, and I'm sure if I got to know any one of you lovely peeps, I would find out that you also do amazing things. But I just happen to know Gila, and I know how amazing some of the amazing things that she's just pulled off. But anyway, I will talk about it later. I've reached out to the Justice Department, have special counsel JD testify next week. Okay, so that's today. So that means that's Representative Jim Jordan. So JD, old John, and old Georgie S, our good friend, the capo means he used to turn in his so-called fellow Jews in the Second World War. He is no longer in the body. There's an X over his face, which means he's been terminated. Okay, and a good thing. Okay, so that's the rest of this I saw. There's a clip here from the Terminator where the young heroine is in a gas station and the guy who's pumping her gas goes, "There's a storm out there, or there's a storm coming." And it's like, yeah, man, history will repeat itself. Congress subpoena demand list number 3. Jeffrey's Black Book put everyone on blast. What are you waiting for? What are you okay? JP Morgan's accounts. All right, yeah, we know. It will be a very short rain. All right, this is doesn't seem so. This seems like a lot of let me just see VK. Vincent Kennedy, Christopher Wray and Merrick Garland are corrupt. That is coming from
What I think we can say is that as the DOJ and FBI have become more political, they have amassed more power. And as they have amassed more power, they have become more political. Okay, so they're saying they're corrupt. And Jim Jordan is, this is on Vincent Kennedy's channel. Well, I don't know what this is. This is, I can't really see. I can't see. Anyway, I think, yeah, I think we get the idea. I mean, the storm is upon us. I just really wanted to focus on the thing that Gila sent me about this guy who made a film about the little ones. And I think that's going to be the linchpin. I suppose that's the right metaphor, but this is going to be the glue that reunites humanity, and we're going to realize that we really don't have such problems with each other. That was put upon us, Mount Shasta. Yeah, get to see the real. I don't think it's correct to call them aliens. We call them galactics because alien means like foreigner. Is that movie out yet? The little one. I don't know. I don't know, but it's definitely going to change the world. Soon will be, yes, Hadassah Ariel. I love it. I love it. Yes. Soon will be a time to dance and sing. Time of freedom. Amen. Gula Shlema, Hadassah Ariel. The coming of Mashiach, coming of the Messiah. I personally wouldn't be surprised. I know they say in Judaism that the Messiah is a man, but it kind of corresponds to Christianity to say that we will all be on a higher level, that we will all, what video, it's called something about the little ones. It's called the little one, it's about the 2 million that go missing every year. And the person who either made the film or is acting in it said that if the normies don't take note, that they will be like the Germans in Second World War that said, I was just following orders. Barrel of Destiny, you just give me more and more compliments. He says he bends like the wind. I take pride in the fact that I bend like the wind. I always say, I've been saying since day one of this channel, that I pride myself that this channel will never be the same 2 days in a row. We are all about change. We embrace change. We want to change. We like change. We love change. And remember, on Passover, this young lady at the place I was staying at said, only old people don't change. Young people change all the time. So if you want to stay young, man, barrel of dirt. If you want to stay young, you have to start changing. Why don't you reform yourself? Why don't you take away your troll diapers or whatever it is that makes you a troll and join the world, live a little like a willow. Yeah. Willows, well, actually, the willow tree in my backyard broke, man. It was like one of the saddest events of my childhood because I loved that. I had a willow tree in my first house in my backyard, and I loved that willow tree because it's easy to climb a willow tree. But when it came down during a storm, I was really broken up about that. Gary, I love it, man. Weak minds are easily infiltrated like yours, man. He's got the weakest. But anyway, just ignore this guy. He's obviously got um, problems with his bladder issues probably, and we have to really we have to think of his poor parents. I mean,
It's probably it's a lot to he's a lot to clean up after. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna sing and dance. July 4th movie comes out 2 hours later. A chopper hovered just above the neighbor's roof. Really staring at you? Wow. Yeah, man. I mean, they follow me around too. I mean, when I go outside, I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing too much into this, but um, every time I go out on the beach, man, they come in. They apparently want to see what's in my sea glass bag. Maybe they're jealous of my sea glass collection. I don't know. The time is now. Yes, indeed. That's so interesting, man. I get the same deal with the hovering. Yeah, it could just be my natural good looks too. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah, right. Yeah, he's lightening up. We're becoming friends. He used to be my biggest enemy. Now he's my best friend because he gives me a juice. So I can deal with a barrel of dirt. All right, guys. So I had a good time. Thanks for the therapy. We'll resume again tomorrow morning. I can't believe it's Friday already, and we got our channel back this week. We got taken down again. And by the way, if you could join my backup channel, I believe it's in the show more. Everyone should join my backup channel just in case. I'm just saying. Um, we do this. We've done this 5 times already. So they're already gunning for me. I already have one violation, so it's just probably a matter of I don't want to attract that energy, but I'll always be on Rumble. I will always be posting live on Rumble as long as Rumble's here. But I would like to keep this going. So if you could, when you're done here, go to the show more, and there's a new channel. I think it's called like Ellie Jasara or something like that, or something like that, something with Jasara in it. Join that thing, and if you do, you can see the final version of my song New Morning, which I've been writing for 30 years. That song took 30 years to write, and I finally finished it. I mean, for now anyway. Like I said, I'm more of a rewriter than a writer, but guys, when you're done here, man, go to the bathroom, close the door so nobody sees you. I mean, if you have people around you, and just look in the mirror and just say, "You're awesome. You're just friggin' awesome, man. I love you. I love you just the way you are, and I don't want to feel any more shame. I don't want to feel like if you want to feel like a black sheep, you could. It's not such a bad thing to be a black sheep, but yeah. Anyway, just know that you are, and we do have this Zoom meeting. It's really beautiful. I mean, we might have to eventually have like a girls meeting and a men's meeting, or women and men, because the girls really valued. I mean, I think it was really valuable for women to speak to each other, and I just I was like fly on the wall. I was like, I really enjoyed it because no, just the reason I enjoyed it was because really humble, shy people were talking. And when you see them talk, you realize how magnificent they are. Everyone. Anyway, just you got to love our troll, man. He's a zany guy, man. He's got his own he's got probably has a team of therapists at home. Um, anyway, okay, so we'll see you in the morning. The time is now. Yeah. Yeah, I also can't. I would not be able to handle that movie. I can't even handle. I can't handle it. I just can't. All right. Anyway, so we will see you guys. Thank you so much for coming in, and remember what I said. Just really start to really appreciate yourself, and try to try to embrace your demon of doubt and make him your friend, and tell him, I'm not such an ineffective teacher. Maybe developing. That was the second one. Sometimes, is a Weber, sometimes you're developing, you show some promise, you might be able to get it. I'm like, I've been teaching for 20 years and I still am ineffective, really? No, you're developing. You're kind of in between, on the borderline. Anyway, okay, so God bless you guys, and we'll see you in the morning. And just know that we're in the storm, and we're going to save the little ones. I mean, the White Hats are really saving the little ones, and we're going to get to help. It's going to be amazing. And a lot of dudes are going to Gitmo. They've been going for 3 years now, so not to worry. God bless, guys.